Hi everyone, welcome back to Real Life Gaze, and also thank you for giving all your support to our previous shows. It's really much appreciated. Thank you very much. Also, if you did want to email us with any topic ideas, or if you want to give us a bit of praise, which would be fabulous, you can email us at reallifegaze@yahoo.com. So before we go on to talk about our show, boys, how are you doing? Gareth, how are you? Good week?
I'm very good, thank you. Look what I got made for us.
I haven't got mine yet.
I haven't got anything.
So yeah, these t-shirts is just a prototype, shall we say. They're going to be available soon. This is it in white, we have it in black, and then we'll see if everyone thinks of them. But they're not available yet, but they will be available soon. And this is the one I just got sent as a prototype, and I'm very happy with the white, but there's some issues with some others. But keep an eye for future, because that's our next merchandise is going to be available. But apart from that, I'm fine.
Good. Rhys, how are you, my love?
Jealous now. I was fine before. I've got no mug, no t-shirt, no pen, no fan. You guys
You've got the weather.
It's your fault.
It's
all your fault.
You're just jealous because it's 36 degrees here today again.
Oh, I told you I wasn't going to ask.
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Good. And I'm well, thanks for asking. I'm joking. Right then, so today's show we have a guest who I met through TikTok, and the boys also have as well. So it's a lady called Natasha from the House of Deville. So if you do follow us or her on TikTok, you will know who I'm talking about. If you don't, Natasha is a trans woman, and she's come on the show today to talk about her story and to answer some questions. So for me personally, it's going to be a big learning curve because I know little bits, but it's actually nice to actually speak to someone and get, you know, their story, their background, and find out about, you know, their life. So have either of you had any friends or, you know, people that you know that have gone through the trans journey?
There's someone in my family. I wasn't close to her. It's like a friend of the family, shall we say, that I grew up with as a child, knowing of, just as, we'll say her name's Jean, and never knew she used to be anyone else but Jean. And then it wasn't until I was older, my mum said, you know, Jean used to be Andrew, for example. And I was like, what? and you would never know by looking at her. And just her mannerisms, everything. This was years ago. Like, we're talking about, I think she transitioned either in the 80s or 90s, I can't really remember. But it was still like before it was, you know, as common as it is now. And I just couldn't believe it. So that was my only experience, and I was fascinated by it, absolutely fascinated by it, especially being a young boy going through changes myself, and whether I was gay or whether I wanted to be a woman, I didn't know at the time. So when I found that out, it did kind of open my eyes a little bit into the world of possibility, really, of what you can do.
Yeah, Rhys, yourself?
No, it's basically exactly what Gareth just said. So I don't know anybody who's gone through changes like that. But you are right, Gareth, when you said that when you're younger and you go through all these emotions in your head, you do think, oh, am I a woman? Like, am I supposed to be a woman? So it would be interesting to hear the side of why she felt like she had to become Natasha. So yeah, I'm interested because I've never met anyone. I don't know anybody, so I'm very interested.
And this is why it's good we're doing this show, because we're covering LGBTQ. We've done the G because we're always here. Hopefully we'll do the L soon, and then the B soon.
We can do the L. I know a few L's. We'll find some L's.
Yes, we've got lots of L's. I don't know many B's.
I don't know any B's. No.
We'll find some. If you're a B, get in touch.
Yeah, we were going to talk to a bee.
Yeah, so no, that is a good idea. If you do want to appear on the show and you have a topic you want to discuss, you can email us, like I've said previously, on reallifegaze@yahoo.com.
Yes. And our socials.
So
Our socials, Lee. Tell them.
Yes, sorry. Yes, also you can keep in touch with us on Instagram, Twitter, and our Facebook page, and that is at Real Life Gaze. And we shall give you a cheeky follow back as well. Yay. So I do have a few questions. I did get in touch with a couple of people just to ask if they had any questions that they would like to ask, say, a trans female, which was, some of them were similar to mine. So I've got a few questions and this, that, and the other. So what we'll do is we'll wait for Natasha to come in and we'll carry on.
Yeah.
So we now have Natasha joining us. Hi Natasha, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Lee. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, my lovely.
How's the boys? Hello, boys.
Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
So
I like the hair, Rhys.
I asked you to, we spoke off camera and asked you to come and join us today to talk about your life as a trans woman. So if you just wanted to just give us a little brief introduction to yourself, and then us guys have got some few questions which you may answer during your little talk to us, but we'll just have a little chat.
I think you may be a bit mistakenly, because I'm actually not trans. I've got 3 kids and I'm bearing child at the moment. Oh, so you want that, Natasha? Let me go get her. Oh, hi.
Oopsie, wrong bit.
Okay, well, yeah, a little introduction. Yeah, I've been around for 53 years. But it's really funny these days because, you know, the word trans, in my day it was transsexual. But actually it was, I had my surgery at 21, which is 1988. Oh my God, that's 32 years ago. That's crazy. But back then you had men, women, cross-dressers, drag queens. That was it really. We weren't in anywhere. So it was very, very different back then as it is now. Because you have all these, you know, all these phrases, gender fluid, non-binary, and people ask me, they say, oh, so what do you think of it? And I'm like, I don't really get into it. I know that sounds awful for my community, but I'm old school, darling, and it's just, you know, I don't know. I had to go through a lot of stuff, you know, people, I don't know, identifying as one way and being able to do certain things. We have to go through psychiatry, and you have to have a car that you could go into the ladies' toilet, ladies' dressing room and stuff like that. But kind of luckily, people have said I was kind of blessed in the areas that I could pass in my society. So that was, yeah, but that was, it's come a long way. And the lovely thing to see is women like myself, trans women, being able to be out there, especially with social media. It's all very new to me. And, you know, things like this, and being accepted much more. I'm so glad I've seen it in my lifetime. Not that I'm going to die anytime soon unless I fall over in a pair of heels, which is very often. Yeah, you might see that in the live show. Boom, swing down. But yeah, I mean, well, that's a little bit at the beginning, but why don't you ask me some things? I'm sure you're dying.
Okay, so I've got a couple of questions for myself, but I also contacted a few friends who we do mutually all kind of know, just to see if they had any questions. So you touched on the fact, you said about having this card, you know, to use women's bathrooms, etc. But just go and say, like, before that, so how difficult did you find it to find, say, a doctor to be able to refer you to a gender identity clinic?
Well, it's funny, I was really lucky with my parents, because although my dad was a really strong Northern Irish man, he was really accepting. My mum, you know, she was kind of accepting. My brother, sister, they were all fantastic. So it kind of went with a family thing when I was 16 that I got referred. Through your GP then you got referred, and then you had to go and see a psychiatrist, and it was the psychiatrist that signed off the hormone prescription and also the little card. But, you know, thank God I never had to produce that card ever. I'm not saying I'm, you know, stunning fish, but it, you know, I never was asked or questioned when I went into anywhere. So, because I started taking hormones at 16, kind of illegally. Before my mum and dad signed to get them prescribed for me at 16. So I was already quite feminized. I didn't really grow facial hair and body hair and stuff. And it was, you know, it was the early 80s, so it was all makeup and big hair anyway. So you could just be any gender. It's kind of like now, the reinvention of the 80s, that gender bending stuff. So it was already in place in the 80s, although I didn't like the 80s at all, obviously, because I was going through certain things. Does that answer that question?
Yes. You touched on about your age then as well, when you were around 15, 16, when you started taking the hormones. But what age do you think you were when you had these feelings of, I don't actually feel me?
Well, it happened when I was 9, about 9 and a half, and I lived on a very rough council estate. I know you wouldn't have seen that by the way I talk, but yeah, I was brought up like this trash. Anywho, it's another story. And I remember one of my girlfriends crossed the landing, and I walked in the bathroom and she was naked. And I freaked and ran out to my mum going, oh my God, she's a freak, she hasn't got what... I imagined all girls had what I had.
Yeah.
In my head. I know that must sound really bizarre to some people, but I think if you're trans, you can really relate to what I'm saying. It's hard to explain that out loud, but I know what I mean by that. And then my mum had to sort of explain things at that younger age. I mean, my mum knew anyway, naturally, she knew, and she was just trying to protect me. So I think that was the first inkling that I thought, oh my God, I'm different. Because I only hung around with little girls, so I just thought, I'm just the same. I didn't realise that I was not sexually aware of anything, so I didn't realise what was different down there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's not like the internet today where kids can unfortunately find out all sorts of stuff. We didn't have that, on pre-internet. Does that answer that one?
Yes, it does. And then just going, say, towards obviously the other end of, say, that beginning of those feelings. At what point in your life did you actually say, take that deep breath and actually say, oh, there she is, that's me, and look in the mirror? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I kind of... What, you mean physically?
Yeah.
Well, physically was the first time after my surgery when I actually stood naked in front of a mirror. That was the moment when I was just like, oh God, this is me. This is, and it was nothing to do with getting a boyfriend or a partner or anything sexual around it. It was just the fact that I feel normal.
Yeah.
And being able to go to a changing room and not go in the cubicle and be able to change in front of all the other girls. And my friend, when I was 14, made me a swimsuit so I could actually tuck everything and go swimming as a girl, which was fantastic. But then I didn't have to wear any of those support things anymore, which was that was the moment for me. That was great. And that was a couple of months after my 21st birthday that happened. Yeah.
Okay. Boys, do you want to ask any of your questions?
Come on, boys.
Go.
Sorry, go on, Rhys.
Rhys,
you go.
Well, you're making me a little bit emotional, babes. I'm not going to lie.
Oh,
Like,
babe,
to
tell me
hear
what's
you-
going on. Tell Mama.
To hear you say that you obviously struggle with all these feelings and things, like, you don't see that side of it from our perspective, if that makes sense. Like, we don't feel these emotions that you feel. Yes, we've had our own.
Yeah.
So I've kind of got a question. So, if there was a little boy or girl right now out there struggling with...
Sorry, can I just
Can you hear
answer
me?
that thing of like... Yeah,
go
you
for it.
don't... the thing what you just touched on. Yeah, because this is my first kind of interview, and as Lee knows, I'm quite open off TikTok and stuff. I don't really talk about my personal life, but I'm not going to come on to you guys' show and not talk about my personal life. What's the point? I might just sit there putting Lippy on, which is a waste of time. So yeah, that's why you see that other side of me. Which there's a whole other side to the lip sync and the girl with the beachy comments. But yeah, sorry, the question was.
I think that's good. No, it's fine. I think it's good that you're going to be quite open, because hopefully, like we do this, or it will help somebody who may be having these emotions.
I hope
so. No, yeah, it's good.
Because no matter how many decades on, it's still the same emotions.
Exactly. But that's the thing, like you just said, so it's 2020, and there are still little boys and little girls out there that are having these feelings because the lack of education from us as adults. What would your advice be to these little boys and girls if they were feeling this way?
Okay, it depends on their age, because I see a lot of young boys and girls who want to transition very young these days, and that's a fantastic thing, because I knew at that age that it wasn't publicised. I would say talk to an adult. Talk to an adult you trust, whether it be an auntie or an uncle or a sister or a brother or a best friend even. Not a best friend would be your adult, but just talk to somebody who's a bit more grown up. But also, if you're like 16, 17, you can go online and find these things out. You know, that you're not alone. You are actually not alone in this. You know, but back in the 80s, I didn't think there was anybody like me. And then when I found out, I read a book by Caroline Cossey, called I Am Woman. And that changed my whole life. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. It changed my whole life because I thought, oh my God, I am not alone. I'm not the only one in the world.
Yeah.
So just speak about it. Just tell somebody who you trust. That's what I'm trying to say. Tell somebody you really trust. And that would be my advice because, you know, I told my parents. So that was, you know, I trusted them.
That's probably the best advice to give.
Yeah.
My other question, I've only got the two because these are the two that I always think of. So obviously, as a gay man, me and Gareth spoke about this earlier. We always, when we were younger, we always thought, "Oh, am I a woman because I like men?"
Right.
So you've kind of touched on it already. Being a trans woman it's nothing to do with sexuality. It's nothing to do with being sexually attracted to something. It's more of a personal feeling. Is that right?
Yeah, it's for me. I can only speak for myself here, and some friends over the years that have the same feeling. It's nothing to do with sexual or what your sexuality is. It's got nothing to do with that. It's to match this with this.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't match, and it's like, you know, you as a gay man, you know you're gay, you know, and you're a man, so you know you're a gay man. But me as a child, it's like my head's a girl. And when I found out about my friend, you know, I thought she had the same as me. Then that threw everything at 9 years old into complete tornado. And my parents were great with that. So that's what it is for me. It's connecting both things together and feeling as one. And that's for me personally. That's the main reason. You know, it's just feeling as one.
So that would be.
And I can say this is quite scary to say, you know, back in those days, if the surgery wasn't possible, I would have done something stupid for myself. I even tried to, and I'm going to say this because there may be somebody out there thinking of trying this. Do not try it. I even tried to dismember myself. I know that's horrific, and Lee didn't know it, but thank God my father found me, and I didn't get very far, so that was all good. But you know, I was that desperate to get rid of what was there that didn't match what was here. And I know that's quite extreme to hear, but that's the truth. So if there's somebody ever thinking of harming themselves, please don't do that. Just speak to somebody, because you know, that's not the way to go. You can get to the end of the thing. If that makes sense.
I mean, we are lucky now that we do live in a day and age where information is a bit easier to get hold of, thankfully.
Yeah.
But no, oh, bless you. You're getting me all emotional. I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm not talking. We're done. I
was a wee drunk 14-year-old little boy, darling. You know, things happen when you're 14. You've had too many substances. So I just thought, oh God, I need to get rid of it. You know, showering was the most repulsive thing that I could ever do. So I have to, you know, wash in areas. Anyway, let's not go into graphics there. But you get the.
I think it's really important that you've said that, because it shows the community, the gay community and the straight community. Because there's still questions, even in the gay community, we still question trans people because we don't understand it, and that's the biggest issue. So hearing somebody tell us their feelings, it really puts it into perspective. So you're doing an amazing job. So
and it's those feelings you can never hide from. It's like, you know, when somebody is gay or lesbian and they try to get married and stay in the closet and all this kind of stuff, one day that feeling's going to come back and you are not going to be able to control it. So it's a similar thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, that's good.
Go on, Gareth, take over.
Go on, Gareth.
Oh, right. So, I've just got a few. So, I've said here, what is the process that you went through? Obviously, I think now it's a little bit different, but what was your process of transitioning back then? And if you know anything about how different it is now, could you tell us about it? If someone watching is like, I want to do it, but I wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay, well, I'll just go back a little bit earlier than that, because it's relating to something you discussed in, I think it was episode 2, which had me in tears, by the way, damn you, about the bullying. You know, and my experience at bullying, when I was in the first year of secondary school, we were in a separate building, but the second year we went over to the main building where all the bigger, and I went to an all-boys school, very, very rough. And I was getting bullied so much and everything, and I just thought, I'm going to have to do something drastic. In a split second of the dinner hall, so I broke the boy's nose. And from that moment onwards, I know, right? I was like, bang, tap to the back, ready to go. And from that moment onwards, I was allowed to be as camp as I wanted to be, and that suited me fine. You know, I'd have like see-through lip gloss in the class, and because I was horrible to the teachers back then, teachers could slap you. I know it's disgusting to think that, but they did in the 70s. So the boys loved me because I always said things they were thinking. So I kind of got through it that way. But transitioning wise, I mean, I was thrown out of school at 15 because I asked my headmaster if he could leave the Christian name on my exam results blank. And he said, why? I said, I'm not going to be called that name, I'm going to be a girl. And he called me a freak, an effing freak, and said, get out my office and leave my school, you've been expelled. So I left school in no qualies or anything like that, and I was thought, oh, okay. But I knew then that I was able to, and it was in the 80s, so I knew that I could, you know, start feminizing stuff, and I was quite feminine at that age. So, you know, my hair was already long from the 70s, so I kept it kind of long. And just going through the psychiatry thing and the GP referrals and that, it's that, you know, you have to, before any surgery back then could take place, you have to live and dress as a woman full time for 2 to 3 years. I think it's 2 years minimum, and you have to keep going back. So that, I'm not sure about transitioning today because it's so, dare I say, gender fluid, non-binary. It's so, you know, everything just flows within the lovely rainbow that we live in. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's going to be advice to any young girls or guys that want to transition because it's so much easier now. Back then, you were one or the other. There was no in between. Does that answer that at all in a strange sort of way?
What would you say about your whole process was the hardest part to go through?
The most difficult part of what? From transitioning to surgery?
Yeah.
Surgery.
Was that
let me ask you, Gareth. Sorry, 1 second. If you imagine, just shut your eyes for a second. Have you ever fallen between your legs as a boy?
Mm-hmm.
You know how that feels. Shut your eyes for 5 seconds. Imagine that feeling 100 times a day for 3 months. Ouchie. That was the most difficult part, was the recovery for me. That was the most difficult part. Because I'm not very good with pain, actually. I'm a big old bruiser. I'm not very good with pain. I think emotionally and physically that was the most difficult because the flood of emotions of getting what I finally dreamed of getting as a game, not sexual, just to be complete, kind of took some of the pain away almost, because I was really high on the emotions and the rush of adrenaline. But that was the most difficult time for me, was surgery and just after surgery.
Right. Okay.
That answers that question. You still imagine us falling 100 times a day. Morphine, darling.
Another question I've got is, I know you've mentioned gender fluidity and everything, but have you actually experienced any hate or bullying within our own community?
Have I experienced any within our community? Back in the day, yeah, because you were either a drag queen or a cross-dressing. It wasn't very welcoming, and I'm not saying that for the whole gay scene in London. You know, London's a funny old place for the gay scene. But I don't know, because I was just totally me, and I wasn't trying to be anybody else, or I don't know. Somehow, after a while, the boys and the girls in the gay community just like accepted me in, and I just became one of the family. And I've been in our community for 38 years. I mean, my first ride was 38 years ago. And I just went in, I'm Natasha, this is who I am, you know, like me or don't like me. And but I've experienced more hate from outside our community, obviously from heterosexuals. I mean, can you imagine if we went around the street going, oh, look at you dirty hetero. Oh, that's disgusting. Why are you holding her hand? Can you imagine that the outside in the world is that?
I know.
Heterophobia, you know? Would be shocking, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It would be a different world.
But I find the gay community, especially, and I'm maybe a bit biased, but especially gay men are the most welcoming and loving to me out of all, you know. No, it's true, boys, honestly, because I live for my gay men.
That's just
I've had my gay husband.
You're just
I've had my gay husband for 32 years, though.
Our queen.
Yeah. Oh, stop that now. No, don't stop.
My last question, and it's more for how people see more of you. So obviously we now know of you through TikTok, and you've got a nice little fan base and a nice following there. And where else are you around on social media that people can follow you and and see more of you.
Well, you can find me on the corner of Hoe and Bow sometimes, you know, I'm out and about. Or Carbon Side, whichever that day brings. Well, thankfully, I signed up for an Instagram account. Look, I'm really down with the kids, with you guys. Honestly, Mama's getting in the groove. Yeah, TikTok really happened for me that I was supposed to go in for some surgery, which I've had some great news, and I'm going to break it to you here, although Lee actually knows. I'm getting a phone call next Monday to hopefully find out the date for my implant removal. I'm having my implants removed, and that's one thing I do want to say on this show. You know, before you go and have breast implants, guys, just think. This is the second time it's happened where they're kind of ruptured. So I'm going to have those removed. That's a whole other story anyway. But yeah, TikTok, I just went on it and thought, oh, it's like, you know, funny videos. I can watch people transforming from one place to the next. Didn't realise it was a social media platform where you can actually follow and like. And I got swooped up like Dorothy, honestly. I was on the yellow brick road within a couple of days. I really was. So mostly you can find me there because I haven't performed for about 2 years because I went through a really rough time last year. Bad relationship and what have you. So I kind of lost my mojo to perform, but TikTok and you three as well have given me the chutzpah to come back and get back on stage. And if ever you see one of my live shows, I'm not the sweet little Miss Natasha that you hear on here or TikTok. I speak like a sailor.
When you say shows, did you do stand up or what shows are you talking about?
Well, what I do is I'm kind of old school, and that's another point. It's a lot of trans women or trans men. I say I'm a drag performer, but I'm a female drag performer. So why can't women be drag queens? You know, it's open for everybody, right? I love being a drag queen.
Yeah.
I could actually be a female. So I love a lip sync, because you know, I do love lip sync, to you, Gareth, and the others do. I kind of do like a bit of like stand up, a bit of MC, you know, insult the audience basically, and you know, get off on that. Oh no, I'm vile. If you're ever in the front row, bring some wellies and get showered with a gift. And then I do like lip sync numbers in between and stuff. That's kind of my little gig that I do, and I just can't wait to get out there and do it again.
Oh yeah, we'd love to come.
Yeah,
maybe in the future, when we're all together, we could come and visit, and you can do a real life gays roast.
Oh my god!
Exactly. Me and Leah spoke about. I'd love to roast you three. Carry on, Rhys.
Whereabouts do you normally perform, babe?
Oh, normally sleazy little dives in London, babe. Yeah.
Whereabouts in London?
Oh, there's a place called The Way Out. I've been performing there for 25 years. It's a big tranny club in the East End. There's a place called Ted Place. I work there as a barmaid as well, part-time. I do like hen nights and stag do's and stuff. They love a bit of Miss Natasha.
We'll just have to take a trip to East London, boys.
Done.
Yeah. Oh, I love to come over to the East End. Do I have to paint on a beard for the East London drag scene? I believe it's very that, isn't it? Sorry, boys, but I like to come clean shaven. But yeah, I mean, I've had lots of feedback on TikTok where people are going to get in touch with their local gay bars and clubs. And when this is all over next year, hopefully, and I can travel up and down the country and go and, you know, Blackwater gay bars, they're the best. Because you could just be so outrageous. And I love that. You swoop in like a tornado, swoop out, flatten everything, and off you go. So until then, I'm just enjoying my TikTok entertainment. So yeah, that's where that's
Same here.
And also your new Instagram account, which we'll put in the links below in the bio.
Oh, thank you.
So I've got a couple more questions.
Go on then, love.
Obviously, I know you and have met you as Natasha, but how did you go about choosing the name Natasha?
Oh yeah, I want to know this.
Ah, okay. Well, the rest of my family don't know this, but I went to my father when I wanted to have the name, and I had two, Isabella and Natasha, because I love the Rossellini. I just thought Isabella was quite exotic, but Natasha was like a Bond girl baddie that would slit your throat and kiss you at the same time, kind of thing. So I gave my dad the choice, and he chose Natasha. So yay! That's how I came up with it.
Oh, no, that's nice. So it's like, yeah.
My family don't even know that, but that's the thing between me and my dad. That my dad's just my hero. So yeah,
that's lovely. Another question: do you think transgender and other LGBTQ+ relationships should be taught in schools?
Yes.
And roughly
You wanna
what
know
age?
why?
Or why? And also, roughly what age do you feel that would be a good age? Obviously,
Okay,
not
well,
as in graphic detail, but
You mean on the lighter side of it, starting off on the lighter side? I think from like when they go up to I don't know if we called it secondary school, high school.
Yeah.
I think when kids were in high school, really, because there was nothing. Our SE, our sex education, was drawings on a blackboard of, you know, that going in there kind of thing. So I never really, you know, that kind of thing. So I think it is important for that to happen, to be honest with you, because if I had children, I would really teach my children about all things that go on in the world within reason to the age limit. But yeah, I think that is importantly, to be honest. Yeah. I'm not a mother. Well, I am a mother. I'm a house mother, but I'm not a biological mother. I'm a psychological mother.
let's see if
Any more? You fire away, baby.
I've got more now.
yeah, go on,
Go for
Rhys.
You just said that obviously you're a house mother. Have you ever actually wanted to be a mother?
Yes. Oh, what you like? Okay. Yes. My very first boyfriend when I was 21, who I happened to lost my B with. Not to say that out there. Yeah, I know. 6'8" of him, Israeli, stunning. Yeah, we were gonna adopt, but then his mother didn't want me to marry him. I moved to Israel. His mother didn't want me to marry him, not because I've been trans, she didn't know that, but because I wasn't Jewish. So she caused a lot of problems. And, you know, I was young, but I did always want children, actually, yeah, because I thought I would have made quite a good mum, actually. But I've got lots of nieces and nephews and great niece and great nephews, so they're kind of like, you know, I'd like to give them back.
Yeah,
Best thing.
But I do have, apparently now I have like, you know, about 8,000 new children in the house of Deville, which is great because I don't have to live with them because it's virtual, right?
Sure.
You're not going to mess up my pantry. There's an old word, my pantry. A good northern word, my pantry, love. But yeah, I would love to have been a mother, but you know, that didn't happen. So
you're still young.
You're still young.
Still young enough.
53, darling. Yeah, I am young actually. I'm still a kitten at 53, aren't I?
Yeah.
Around 35, you're fine.
You know what though, boys? I've never actually. This is a lie not within a lie. I've only lied about my age to get in somewhere to say I'm older when I was younger. But I've never said I'm younger than I am because I'm very proud of how old I am. And you know, the young gentleman seems to love a cougar. I've had no work either. No work.
No.
On my father's grave, I've had no work. Last year I tried Botox for the first time. I told Lee about this. On my father's grave, I've never had any work on my face. These are all mine, boys.
Impressive.
Jealous. I'm like 29, I'm already sagging.
Maybe you're using the wrong. Maybe you're using the wrong kind of moisturizer, boys.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll inbox you. The one I use.
The salty moisturizer tends to make your skin wrinkle quicker because it dries out. Nivea is, I shouldn't, you know, plug a brand, but I've always used Nivea since I was 15. Just basic old Nivea, and it works a treat for me.
There you go. There's a lot of people who do that.
This what?
There's a lot of people who use and swear by Nivea, and they've got amazing skin.
Gareth, it's so old school, and it's what I grew up with. You know, my mum used Nivea, my sister used Nivea, and so I just thought, and it's just great, and it's not expensive, and it's like, you know.
Exactly.
It's all these fancy creams, you know, they kind of all do the same thing, but they tell you they don't. So, you know, I'm living proof that Nivea kind of works. I expect to call them Nivea, actually. I'm kidding.
You just spoke about your surgery that you're going for. I am a boob man. I love boobies. I do. When you was taking your, is it estrogen pills that you have to take?
Yeah, I've been taking those since I was 15, but what it is, I've got so much of my own breast tissue that they're going to remove the implant and they're going to give me a mastopexy, which is an uplift. And so it's all going to be nothing but 100% pure me, because and do you know what? They kind of walk in the room before me, and I just want people to look at this sometimes and not at the twins, just, a gay man, I don't mind looking at them all day long because I know why they're looking at them, but sometimes in the straight world it's a bit, and also for health reasons, I don't, if they did rupture, I don't, you can get toxic shock and stuff like that. So yes, I'm really excited about that actually coming up, because I was supposed to have it on the 20th of March and it was cancelled 3 days before. I know.
Before you had these implants, before you had these implants, what size did the pills manage to get you to?
Oh, hello.
If it's the first, just tell me.
That's fine, darling. Kind of that thing. I did my downstairs surgery before I did upstairs. A lot of girls do it the other way around. Because that wasn't, having big boobs wasn't important to me. I actually, when I was modelling, I did those because I thought they'd get me more work, which they did. But they were about an A plus, maybe a B cup.
Okay, it's not
but
bad.
Now they're going to be like a C plus without the implant.
Ooh.
I know.
So do you taking estrogen throughout your whole life?
I do, yeah. I've taken it since I was 15. Well, officially 16. But yeah, I take 2 tablets a day. And the ones I take are very, very old school, but they've worked for me. They really have worked for me. And if you stop taking them, I experimented a couple of years ago. And they say you go into something like the menopause. Oh my God, I wanted to kill everybody. I really was snapping. So I won't do that again. I don't advise that once I start. But yeah, I can take them every night with my vitamins and stuff. And then it's just...
And do they help with like the hair growth and what does it help with your voice and stuff, or tell me?
See, I'm glad you touched on the voice, because a lot of I have a lot of trans friends. I won't say a lot, I have a few trans friends that kind of talk like that 24/7. I'm like, oh please missus, I couldn't bear doing that 24 hours a day. I have quite a husky voice. I kind of put it Lauren Bacall-ish kind of thing. No, they've never changed my voice. There is an operation you can have with your voice box, but it's very, very dangerous. I'm very happy with the deep tones I've got. It did make your skin incredibly smooth. It does do that. And also it stops the hair growing in its tracks when you go into puberty. That's why I started so young. So I've never had the problem of hair and stuff like that, really. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions, boys?
Yeah, I've got so many. I'm going to stop soon. I need to ask this because I think it's important for the LGBTQ community to hear this. Do you find dating difficult because of trans?
Yes and no. I'm having a renaissance now in the past couple of years, because it's so open now to be a trans woman or a trans man. Do you know what I mean? So back in my day, it was difficult because, if I dated a guy and then I got intimate, I think I should tell him, because I believe if I was to be intimate with somebody and they had the same thing about them, I'd want to know. It's my choice whether I want to. But when I did tell guys, they're going, but that's not possible, because it was so long ago. They're like, I've seen you naked. How that's not. I'm like, well, thanks to my surgeon. So I've had it back then, but nowadays, no. Actually, it's quite the flavour, I will say.
Yes.
Yeah, we're quite in at the moment, yeah. So when I go out to, I do go to a lot of gay bars, which I love my gay bars, but when I do go out to hetero bars, the younger gentlemen are, when they hear I'm trans, they're like, yes, mama, have a double. Okay. Do I get a Big Mac with that? No. Hear that, McDonald's?
She's plugging, guys.
No, I know.
Do you feel like you have to tell people you're trans, or would you prefer to just say I'm a woman?
Well, I don't see, that's the thing nowadays, I don't mind being called trans, but I see myself as a woman.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of that, I'm very supportive of young trans, that's why I'm a house mother, because I want to give them the help that I never got, that wasn't there for me those years ago. So I'm always, if I see them, going a bit down the wrong path, and I like to say, maybe you should try it another way, in a nice sort of way, kind of thing. Because I didn't have that back then, to be honest. But the fact is, I don't know really if feel I have to. I just kind of think it's a bit respectful in a way, because I'm an old believer that, you know, treat people how you would be treated.
Yeah.
So I would wish them to tell me, you know what I mean, Rhys? So I naturally, you know, I don't, when I meet somebody, I don't go, oh, I used to be a boy. You know, I wait at least 5 minutes when I got a drink in my hand. You know how it goes. So yeah, I don't do that, but it depends on the situation. But generally, as a rule, if I'm going to be intimate with somebody or I'm going to date somebody, I am honest with them.
Yeah.
But thanks to TikTok and you guys, I don't have to do that anymore because it's out there. So there you go. And yes, boys, I am single.
There you go.
My next question.
Natasha, you did touch on the word of being a house mother. Obviously, some of our viewers may not know what that means. Do you just mind explaining what that means to us?
Sure. Okay. A house mother is, if anybody doesn't know what that is, you know, go on to BBC iPlayer and download Pose, the seasons of Pose, because I lived in New York. I'm not sure what time was there in that era, and I used to go to those balls. They were, I mean, on the telly they've done it quite well, but they were quite more outrageous than we could actually put on the telly. And in London, I was part of the House of Child, so we had a house mother, mother-child, and a house mother is there for kind of guidance, fun, especially for young drag queens or young trans, either way, drag kings and drag queens, let's just put that out there. But back in those days, the house mother had them live with them, where these days you can do it virtually. You know, if a young guy or a girl struggling, you kind of, sometimes they've been rejected by their own mothers, by their own family, and you're kind of that gay surrogate mother, like a drag mother. So that's what, so you build a house, and I took, you know, the bill is because, well, there's 2 reasons for that. I was actually caught up in a terror attack in 1986 in Paris, outside the Hotel de Ville. Lee didn't know that. Outside the Hotel de Ville, which was awful, a bomb blast, and I love Cruella, so I kind of started the House of the Ville, because coming out of that terrorist attack really made me value life, you know what I mean? And that was before my surgery, so I'd done a skit cabaret in Barcelona, then we all went to Paris before we all dispersed to go to our own countries after the season of the drag show, because I was doing it then. So that's where my house comes from. It's those 2 things. I love a bit of Cruella, and to remember that I nearly died that day, basically. So I just live every moment like it's my last. So that's the thing of a house mother. That's how I see myself, a house mother.
Literally, as you said that, I had goosebumps go over my whole body, and I was like, that before.
Yeah, it was, that moment when it happened, I was sitting eating a sandwich, like you do, and I was there with Bomba, Brazilian drag queen. That was her stage name, because she was like a bomb. Ironically, we were in a bomb blast, and it happened, and everything went in slow motion. You know, like you see on the movies where the glass moves, it was like the Matrix. And all I remember was her grabbing me and dragging me to the floor as all this glass went over her head. If she hadn't pulled me to the floor, I would not probably be sitting here right now. So yeah, I've got good fun thinking about that. So that really was that life-changing moment as well. That, yeah, and I thought, oh, you know what I thought though? I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be in the morgue and they're going to see a penis. That's what I thought. Not about I've just survived a terror attack. Oh my God, they're going to find that I've got a penis. Well, you know, like you do, isn't it? It's like, have I got clean knickers on? Well, never mind the knickers. Wait till they get past those. You know,
have you got knickers on or boxers on?
Lots of gaffer tape, darling. Lots of gaffer tape. Ouch.
I've never actually done it, boys. So, have you ever done full-blown drag and tucked?
I wouldn't even want to know. I think it's fascinating.
I've never.
You never, Lee?
No. I've done drag years ago.
Rhys has. Look at his face. Rhys has.
Well, of course, Rhys has, obviously. Look at that face. And that staircase he has as well. I mean, you know, who wouldn't start coming down that, basically? But yeah, without being graphic, you have to push them up into the cavity. That's how you tuck. Yeah, Lee, you'll find out when we meet in real life. You'll find out when I beat your face with makeup. I'm going to make you tuck as well, darling.
Okay, that won't be filmed.
Oh, no, it'll be in there.
We'll film the face, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because your expression will be like that.
Where have they gone? Will they
Yeah,
come back?
that's a good start, Tony. Look, Rhys is knowing. He knows that popping out. Yeah.
It's not very
Basically.
comfortable.
No, it's not. And I did that for years as a teenager. Try doing it in a tucked up swimsuit, trying to do the breaststroke. Yeah, but you know what? You get used to it. You don't feel it after a while. But yeah, I don't have to do that anymore, which is great. Yeah, thank the Lord. But I do feel for any drag queen that has to do a pop and tuck, because it is not pleasant. But you know, the effect is amazing, obviously. Yeah.
Well, when you're watching RuPaul's Drag Race and you see them in thongs, I'm like, where is it?
Yeah. It's literally because they get the whatever and they pull that right between the legs at the back, so it goes up, don't they, Rhys? And they pull it up the back and then tape it over the underwear.
And then the others go up inside.
That's right. Lots of gaffer tape and a good will. That's all you need for a good tuck.
Okay.
And a roll of gaffer tape.
So, you're gaffer taped up and tucked. What if you need a wee? Do you just have to hold it and take it?
You have to hold it, yeah. You have to make sure.
Or is it like the photograph with thingy with the champagne and it's like
Trust you,
No.
Lee. Trust you. Oh my god. We've all got images.
What you have to
there's a
do,
vision.
what you have to do if you need to untuck it to go for a wee, let's say, you're blushingly, is you have to untuck over the underwear, sit down, do the business, and then reapply another piece of tape and then pull it back up again, and then, you know, or just hold it. But then if you're doing a show, you can hold it if you've got genitalia like that. But if you're out in the clubs and stuff, you can't hold it for like 8 hours. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's as I said, I've never had to worry about that for many years.
I just have one more question. Is
Yeah.
there anyone in the public eye, celebrities or whatever, that inspires you or you look up to?
That has inspired me or still inspires me?
Both.
Okay. There's quite a few actually. I won't say Mussolini because that's no, I'm joking. One of my biggest heroines that inspired me was Cindy Crawford. Now I'm about to drop a clanger here. When I lived in Miami, I actually got to meet her once, and you know, and I told her that I had her up on my wall as a little boy. She was so shocked, but so flattered. You know, when you think, if I met somebody that's really inspiring and they're really horrible when you meet them, I'm just going to die. But she was everything but horrible. She was so lovely and so stunningly beautiful, that woman. My God, I kept staring at her. I thought I was a freak. But otherwise, who else does inspire me? Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep.
Yes.
Fabulous.
They're the two women that really inspire me, because Goldie Hawn, because she's as fit as a butcher's dog, and I love her. And Meryl Streep is, you know, she's just one of the great actors that have ever walked the earth. So yeah, they're the two women that I actually look up to, and because I love that in Death Becomes Her that they both did so much comedy, because they're not really Goldie Hawn, yes, but Meryl not so much for comedy. So the fact that she could, you know, be a comedy queen, because I've been not labelled. I mean, I've labelled myself a comedy queen. I do like a giggle, you know. So yeah, I love the comedy side, but she just can drag every emotion out of me. And they're powerful women to me. They are two powerful women in the world. They're iconic. So I kind of, you know, look up to those. And Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, obviously, you know. The list goes on, boys, but you know that list. You know.
Is there any trans that you know of that inspire you or you look up to?
Yes, Caroline Cossey, Tula, when I read her book.
Caroline?
Yes, that was Caroline Cossey. Well, she was the only trans woman in a Bond movie. Live and Let Die, I think.
Oh, okay.
She was the queen that got killed in the helicopter. Do you remember the girl in the helicopter chasing the Bond car? Stunning, long dark hair.
I would remember it. I'm going to have to
Yeah, look it up. She was the baddie in the helicopter that got mashed up. But and then it all came out in the sun. And also look at Smirnoff vodka. She was water skiing on the Loch Ness Monster on billboards. And then it all came out. So she wrote a book because the News of the World outed her and everything. It was a very big scandal at the time. But she was my trans idol because, you know, she was in movies and she was on billboards. You know, I've been on a couple of billboards, so I got to feel that. I won't say I've been in any movies. Well, not movies like that. No, I never have been in one of those. Me and Lee had this conversation the other day. Well, not yet. No, I'm kidding. I never will. But yeah, she is. Look her up. She's a very, and she also got, I think, the first bill passed where transgender women could change their birth certificates and transgender men. She took it to the European High Court.
Oh, wow.
And she's a very, very good advocate for that kind of stuff. You know, trailblazer and stunning, beautiful, beautiful woman. And I like Margarita Placatan as well for her musical talent.
This list is long.
I know.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people I look up to. There really is, you know. And it's nice to look up to somebody, isn't it? I think it's healthy.
Yeah. Mm.
As long as you're not outside their window with a pair of binoculars, you know what I mean? Like night vision. That's taking it a bit too far. Yeah. Sorry, Keanu Reeves. I do apologise about that. I was young.
So do either of you guys have any other questions for Natasha?
I think she's answered everything for me.
Yeah. So Natasha, would you like to ask us anything? No need if you don't.
How much am I getting paid?
In love.
Look at Lee's face. Yes, that's all I need is the beating of a black deep heart. Questions for you guys. Oh God. What made you, whose idea was it, and I don't want any rowing about this, to come up with a real life gaze? Because I must say, I have waited 4 decades to have a show like this.
Oh, and that's why we're doing it. That's why we're doing it. It was actually Rhys's idea. And then Rhys got in touch with Lee. Lee got in touch with me, and I was like, yes, let's do it.
Because you work so well together. I mean, I've watched your episodes, and your chemistry's great. And, you know, and I like the way you touch on different subjects. It can be fun and light-hearted. Some things are quite serious. Some things are difficult to talk about. And you yourself, Gareth, like bullying and stuff. So, you know, it's nice to show our community that, you know, it's not all about the heck of the world. You know, we can make a stamp in this world as well. And I love that you know, it's such an original genius idea. I've never come across it. So when Lee asked me to come on, I was like, yeah.
And why is there not anything like it? That's when Rhys came up with the idea, I Googled and there's bound to be something like this already. And there really isn't.
I think the reason is because the television studios and the television companies and channels, they'll put drag queens on, or your Lady Savages, or, you know, your Alan Carrs, you know, and all the very stereotypical over-the-top gay characters, which they do. But to have something hard-hitting like this as well, I think it scares them a bit.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think they're scared of it. Although we're moving very far. I mean, you think, guys, you know, not 54 years ago, if you were homosexual, you'd be locked up and put in prison.
You know,
it was illegal in this country. So how far have we come by that? You know, so I think, yeah. But the internet's amazing because you don't have to worry about the TV companies. You're doing it.
Yeah, that's it.
Their loss, right?
Although if anyone's watching,
sometimes the audiences you get here is not an audience you'd get on terrestrial television or satellite television, because this is more of a, do you know what I mean? So that's why I think
we've got a targeted audience here, so we're not receiving any hate or trolling, because people who are watching are people who actually want to watch.
And that's why I did on the TikTok. It's like, you know, in my hashtags, I use most of them in my community, because I don't care about how many followers I've got. I don't want to go really out into that big thing, because the internet's a mean place. Yeah. And for me, if somebody trolls me, I get more angry that I can't bitch slap them in person because they're hiding behind a keyboard. Do you know what I mean? In their mum's basement normally, looking at things they shouldn't be looking at. So yeah, I just think that's a great thing. But I love you, Sarah. I really do, and I just
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
lovely. Thank you very much.
All about
that's okay.
I just had one more thing. It's not a question. It was just I was chatting to somebody offline, and they gave me some questions to ask you. But what they wanted to say, so it's one of our followers and of Real Life Gays and of our TikToks and socials. So they said they've recently made the decision to start their transition as a trans woman, and they would like to say to you personally that, you know, thank you for giving them the courage, because they've seen you, and also previously they've thanked us as well for creating this show. And then I told them that, you know, we've got you coming on the show, and they said, you know, thank you. I want to pass on my thanks, you know, for giving them the confidence and the courage, as it was one of many people probably in her life that she's been able to come out and, you know, not be herself.
Yeah.
Well, I like to say back to that young lady that the pleasure is all mine, and that's what we do as trans women or trans men. We carry on the legacy. You hear of like, oh, she's legendary. Yeah, it's all very well being legendary for doing a fierce lip sync on the stage, but you need to create a legacy off in the real world, to carry on the generations of trans people, to help them. And that's why, I've got goosebumps. Honestly, that's beautiful what she said, and I'm so pleased.
Yeah.
Because it means that, you know, she will, as she goes through her journey, she'll inspire younger trans boys and girls as well. And that's the thing of doing it. And to see it progress like this, it's so touching for me that, yeah, it's just amazing, because in my lifetime, I'm glad I've seen these changes. You know, we've got a long way to go, obviously, but you need to keep the chain of the trans going. I don't know how to explain it, you just need to keep that legacy going on. Otherwise, it's all for nothing. You know, if we can't help each other, we get enough out there from people. So we need to, that's why when I work at Ted's Place, I see two young trans girls or boys, you know, arguing over a man or this or that. I'm like, girls, stop. You're not supposed to do that to each other. You get it out there. They do it to us. You're supposed to love each other. There's plenty of men to go around. You know, that, and I just try and educate them, look, you know, you've got to love each other. Even if you don't like each other, you have to love your sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
Amen to that, honey. That's what
Lift each other up instead of putting people down.
It's true though, because, you know, we're a community. You know, you have many communities around the world of all different kind of things. I'm not going to list any of them, but I'm talking about our community. You know, we need to love each other. I'm not always going to like you, but I will respect you. And if you're in trouble, I will be there to help you. If I can stop you getting in trouble, I'm there, whether I like you or not.
Yeah.
Because it's almost my duty. It's just we're a family.
Yeah.
We are a family.
Right.
And not all families get on, boys, do they?
Yeah.
We all know that.
Sure.
So, but as long as you remember that thing of family, the word of family, that's it, a big word. Just remember that. No matter you had beef 2 weeks ago, if your sister or brother's in need, you get there and you help them because you're family. Gay blood, baby, gay blood. That's what it is.
Amen to that.
Amen, brothers.
Right, so I think that we've come to the end of the show. Natasha, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
No problem at all. You know, and we'll all still, you know, see you on TikTok, which every morning I love the good morning videos that you do.
You know, you find the commonality. I mean, sometimes I really could slap you, but that's another thing.
Me too.
When I think your wig lopsided, when your wig's lopsided, my darling, you need to use a ruler or a spirit. What's those things, those spirit levels? When you put a wig on, put a spirit level. It's good.
Rhys, shut up.
Rhys knows exactly what I'm talking about, don't you, bub?
Spirit level going.
Lee, you've got an iPhone. You've got a spirit level on there, dear. You've got one on your phone these days. Just level the hairline up, love. I know you're all shushy and you're gorgeous, but just level it up, boo. Level it up. You've just got red to fill. In a loving way.
You're Lee.
Yay.
It's only because I love you, Lee. That's why I can read you like that, honey. Don't worry. I can't wait till we go out. Because we're going to go out to the village.
Literally, cannot wait to come in and see you.
Yeah. A dirty kebab, get arrested and sore feet. I'm saying it's been lovely. Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute honour. It's my first.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been amazing. It's been amazing.
No problem.
And I'd love to come back one day. So, you know, there you go. Maybe come back with the new The new girls for Rhys.
Yes, show them off.
Maybe I'll keep the old ones and you can put them in a fish tank or something.
I'll send you my address later.
All right, my love. No, I'm coming over. I know where you are, darling. Don't worry about that.
I've invited everyone. Come.
We're coming.
Beautiful. As long as I get my own room, I'm good. I just want to walk down that staircase at Scarlett O'Hara.
I'll give you this room.
Yeah.
It's got a beautiful view.
I'll be like, oh, Rhys, oh, Rhys. You're like, right, friends in Miss Natasha. I don't give a damn. It's very mummy dearest, that staircase. I can see me fully going up to the nines on there.
This happened.
Well, thank you, boys, very, very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And keep up the good work, because you guys are amazing. And you're trailblazers. And you're inspirational to all of us. Remember that and keep it up for me, yeah?
So much.
I'll see you
Thank
soon,
you.
boys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
No, that was amazing. Like, it was everything I wanted it to be.
Definitely. And she even slated me at the end, so Rhys, I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Saves me doing it.
Or was Rhys frozen?
Rhys, are you still here?
I'm frozen. I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, he's back. What a shame.
I'm back.
I've got sore cheeks from smiling.
I remember that.
Are you frozen again?
Oh, look at the face on that. Let's leave this in.
Oh, Rhys, that's hilarious.
What type of face is that, everybody?
Oh. Rhys, why do you keep freezing?
I don't know.
It keeps freezing on funny faces.
You're like that?
I'm back. I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
kind of.
Ah.
Kind of, but it's fine.
So no, that was really good. I learnt a lot, and I hope viewers can take a lot away from that as well. And even if you're not a trans male or female, if you know somebody that is, please share our video and our channel with them, and then educate, share the love, which would be amazing.
Yeah, and you're just so happy as well, and just so confident. That's so nice to see, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So, Gareth, we are doing a lip sync this evening. So would you like to tell everyone who it is?
The words in it, I think, it can mean so much to different people. It was on an episode of Rupaul's Drag Race, and they perform it at their live Las Vegas show, and it's called Mirror Song. When this came on RuPaul, I was like, oh my god, the words are just exactly me, and I'm not a drag queen, but you can take what they're saying and kind of change it into your own personal experiences.
Yeah.
The song is about, becoming a drag queen and not being accepted, and then finding yourself, and then loving to love what's looking back at you in the mirror. And I thought it would be a perfect one to do this week when we're talking about, trans. And I just thought it would be perfect lip sync for us to end this episode with. So that's what's coming up next, is RuPaul's Drag Race Mirror Song from all three of us.
That's it. Fabulous. So before we go then, if, like I've said before at the beginning, if you do have any topics that you would like to ask us, you can email us at Real Life Gaze. Also, if you would like one of our mugs, please email us at reallifegaze@yahoo.com. Rhys, put your hand up so we can insert the picture. There we go.
Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Ridiculous.
Who knows? So yes, thank you guys for all your support, all your likes.
I
and
blame
comments.
Royal Mail.
Well, no, it's gone. It's probably left the UK. It's your end.
Well, I hope so.
I blame Royal Mail.
Me too.
So just to end, thank you everyone for all your continued support on our YouTube channel, on our Instagrams, on our TikToks, family, friends, etc. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
See you next week. Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
on the floor, looked up at my mom as she looked in the mirror, put her lipstick on, and I wished it was mine. One day after school, she caught me wearing her dress, put me over her knee, said to pray and confess. But deep inside, I still wished it was mine. I learned never to let it show, keep it on the down low. Just the mirror and me know. I learned never to let it show, hiding this glitter and gold. Just the mirror and me know. A pussycat wig and some old cha-cha heels. Take a shot of tequila to kill all the feels. It's my first time. I walk in the club, I walk straight to the back, and I catch my reflection. There's a girl looking back, and she's beautiful. Am I finally home? Now I'm ready for my first show, 'cause finally now I don't hate the mirror anymore. Now I'm ready to let it go, 'cause finally now I don't hate the mirror anymore. All the hours perfecting my art, put concealer on my broken heart for this queer fascination. Oh, the most powerful thing you can do is become the image of your own imagination. Now I'm ready to shine my light. It's different now 'cause I love the mirror every time. Now I'm ready to fight the fight. It's different now 'cause I love the mirror every time. The most powerful thing you can do is become the image of your own imagination.